This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every movie on the top 250 movies of all time list, according to IMDb. This week, we are watching number 230, which is the 1975 movie Barry Lyndon, directed by Stanley Kubrick. The synopsis of this movie is: an Irish rogue wins the heart of a rich widow and assumes her dead husband's aristocratic position in 18th century England. I am one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John
and TC.
And this week, it is John's turn to go first with impressions. John, what did you think of this movie?
This is one of the movies I wish that I had known kind of what its style was before I watched it. Most of the time I want to be surprised. This one is challenging in some ways because it's not about a very likable person. He doesn't really do very likable things, and it's just sort of like presented in a very slow, careful way because the movie's quite long, and it's really more about the style of the movie instead of the story or the characters. And the style is fantastic. There's like so many shots where the camera just like starts and then pans back, and the scene looks like a friggin' painting.
Yeah.
And it happens over and over again. And it's usually with this kind of camera that just pulls back slowly. And as you just allow you like to sort of register all the things that are going on in the scene.
That's true.
And it's just beautiful. It's just amazing. And the music is also amazing. And I don't know how many times this happened. I noticed at least twice where the actors would come in and step to the ending beats of the music.
Oh,
like
I know. How
stop.
good was that, dude? It would like ding, ding. And I was like, yes.
It was awesome.
Sweet.
I don't know how much. I only like saw it, but I feel like the music was very, very carefully orchestrated along with the shots.
Yeah, because I honestly thought, like, how would they have done it like some of those times when they like stomped their feet to the end of the song?
Yeah.
Like, how would you not have figured that out ahead of time?
I don't know if they're playing it and they're doing it like it's a dance. And
I guess they could have edited to it, but it seemed like it was so like everything resolved right to that spot.
Yeah. That was freaking, I mean, so I wish I would have just not, I would have been happier, I think, if I went in this movie knowing, okay, I'm not really going to like the main character. I really shouldn't like worry about like his path or anything like that. It's really more about, just sort of the artistry of the film. And I think I would have been happier, but I was trying to get into the story and then I was sort of more annoyed by it,
Really?
Yeah, I didn't care for Barry, but that's the point. The story is like,
can't wait to get to me.
TC, you gotta go next.
Okay, so he's like an uneducated guy I guess you gotta admire, he's very ambitious and courageous in some ways. So there's that, I suppose. But otherwise, he's just quite willing to use people and do whatever he wants to get his means without really caring, except with the exception of his son. So anyway, I thought the duel scene was amazing. The second one where he duels the son of his wife. That whole sequence was pretty fantastic. But I mean, again, I think what I'd like to do, which I won't probably get to do until like maybe over 5 years from now, maybe we should have a list of the films we all should watch again.
I would, yeah. I could put this one on one of those lists for sure.
Because it saddens me because I feel like this is one that I know kind of how it works, and I'd like to maybe just sit back and be able to just try to enjoy it for what it is. Instead of maybe thinking it was something else and then being like, oh, I don't like this for that. It's not like a hero action movie, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably plenty.
That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
TC, you go.
All right,
you go next.
Go, TC, go.
I'm a little different here. So I thought the story was friggin' awesome. I mean, come on. Guy's an Irishman. I'm an Irishman. Breaks the glass on the Englishman's face. I'd break an Englishman's face with some glass. I thought the movie was awesome. It was precise. The images were all well thought out. Set design and wardrobe were unreal. and believable, even if it's not perfectly to the spec. I didn't care to look it up. I was like, this is just looks awesome.
It's apparently to spec.
Is it? Of
Yeah.
course. It's Kubrick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought the storyline was very provocative. It had a lot of evil in it, had a lot of like goodwill intentions, even though there was like he's on a terrible path, but he's still trying to do something right. And then the money comes in and things go all awry. And he's just kind of like on a normal path for a normal human being that got screwed and doesn't care. Is out to get anything he can now because what else did he have before?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
I thought it had a
true.
lot of interesting topics. It had dealt with like family, war, homosexual relationships, gambling, being a gangster, being a double agent, having a family and how hard that can be. It had like tragedy involved when that kid gets paralyzed. I mean, it really hit like every random outcome that life presents normal people with, right? I mean, it was just a typical story of a drunk Irishman, even though he wasn't really a drunk, but they all are.
Right.
He wasn't, but
you
yeah,
know,
a little bit.
Kind of meandering through life and just getting the shit end of the stick and being like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, but not caring about the people he was around. I think that other than his son, he really was kind of indifferent.
He liked that older guy, even though they screwed him. You know, he had that thing with the older guy before he got shot.
And
I mean,
yeah,
he had like a heart. It was just, you know,
The
it was
Chevalier
kind of,
or whatever the hell that is.
yeah, the Chevalier, right,
Yeah.
right.
No,
I mean,
not the
No.
Chevalier. That was like the general guy.
the
or
other
whatever,
guy,
like
the
guy
yeah,
that
the guy
he
in
gave
war
him a
with
kiss
him.
before dying.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
that was
the
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was strange.
That was strange.
So yeah, I felt like it made like a normal statement on human nature and how like everything's kind of outside your control and you just kind of jump into one thing or the other. And back in that time, it seemed like really difficult if you're getting robbed for all your money. Like, what do you do next, right? You gotta kind of come up with some kind of story for you. So yeah, I thought like it drove those points home. With while we were happy, thrilled, sad, inspired sometimes because it was just so damn good to watch. Like as far as the art was concerned. And then, the detail within the frame was just impressive. So, and of course, I always love a good fighting Irish. So that was, as soon as that dude threw the glass in the guy's face, I was like, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yep, I'm in. This is me.
This
It's
is my
good. I
kinda
like
guy.
this. Yeah, this is kind of good. This is
That's
good.
nice.
So, anyways, that's where I'm at. I thought this film was great. I will definitely watch it again. So throw that on the list.
Awesome.
And one thing I do agree with you, John, that soundtrack, man, it was relentless at times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the high anxiety points, it was just dun 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 dun, and it just continued. There was no dynamics. It was just in your face.
But it
then,
blended. It still blended really well. It didn't like annoy me. Like I felt like it was
Right. Like it was kind of on
thing.
it concurrently with it. It
Yeah,
wasn't like
yeah.
deteriorating from it or like not deteriorating. It wasn't taking away
Detracting.
from.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Detracting. Right. And so yeah, I thought the soundtrack was great. Sparse when it needed to be in building tension, and then just in your face when it was like in the middle of a horrible scene. So
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Well
I thought it was
spoken,
awesome.
sir.
Yeah, I don't. So my turn. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've been very silent during this this part in the beginning here.
Uh-oh.
First, I want to say, just as a little tidbit
Are
here.
we gonna have a Denny drop the mic
This is
moment?
a negative. This is a Denny
This
Is it
negative.
This
negative?
might be.
Wait, you think it's a negative?
First, this is the first Stanley Kubrick movie we've watched. He is tied for number 1 for the most movies on this list. Tied with Steven Spielberg and one other person we haven't gotten to yet. But just to put that out
what
there.
do we got? We got A Clockwork Orange and The Shining.
Oh,
and
pretty much everything. Yeah. But
Yeah, pretty much, all of it.
I will also say that a few of his movies are some of my favorite movies ever. And I want to put that out there too before saying that I
Here
was
comes the bomb.
bored to tears watching this movie.
Really?
To tears. I had to restart. Like I had to go back at one point a half an hour because I realized I wasn't paying attention, and I wanted to pay attention. That happened multiple times, and by the end, I wrote down 3 times. End it already. Just like end.
Wow.
Just end. Dear
Wow.
God.
Wow.
And I feel bad because
I didn't have that at all.
Yeah,
no.
dude, I'm jealous, DC, of your description. Like that was, I think that was the most passionate description you've had of a movie so far. And
I think so. Yeah.
And this is the most bored I've been by a movie. Like, how is that possible?
I don't know.
I've been reading.
Maybe you got to a point where you were so bored, you were just like, you gave up.
No, I tried to get into it. I really tried. And there's not I want to be on the side of the team that likes this movie because right now I feel like after listening to you, I kind of understand it, but reading reviews, I'm like, these people are just lying because everyone likes Stanley Kubrick and everything he does. You know, it's just like, to be a movie critic, you have to like this, even though it's just like a tedious bore of a movie.
It had mixed reception at first, I think, even amongst the critics. I think
it did. It didn't do well at first. Yeah, for like 20 years, it didn't do well.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I disliked the character a lot. I mean, I think we all kind of did. I don't know. Like,
nope,
you said,
I loved him.
You loved him. All right. I hated him. I thought he was like a complete asshole, and not like in an interesting way. He was so flat. Like, everything to me seemed so flat. Like, all the acting was just like slowly turning to somebody, and like romances developed out of like thin air, and the voiceover would come in and kind of explain to you like
a little exposition.
Well, usually it would explain stuff, and so that they wouldn't happen. It's like, and then they fell in love.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, endless exposition isn't great, so I agree.
What did you guys think of the voiceover?
I mean, I agree. It kind of,
it sort of, every time it just told you what was going to happen. It's like, and so I think, this is by design, and it took away, like, it's not any surprise in the film. Like, most of it, the dueling scene, actually, you didn't really quite know what the outcome was going to be there. They at least let you, it didn't start with, and then he will get shot in the leg, and then shortly thereafter we'll end this movie.
Yeah. But they did say at one point, the narrator said, like, oh, he is about to lose, like, I forget what he says exactly. He said,
well, he's about to lose we knew it was when his kid died. They were like, they brought that up well beforehand.
Right. Why?
Did, right?
Why?
Yeah. So
the kid was going to make it.
Oh, really? Oh, God, no. Mm-hmm. Not after Mr. Narrator said he was about to lose everything and die friendless. And
I just thought he got like paralyzed. I didn't put the two and two together. But then I realized it's a period piece, and there was no doctors back then. Really, they were just like guys that looked at the body. Yep. All right, you have a good one.
You're dying. See you later.
Yeah. All right, have a good one. That'll be 20 shillings.
Yeah. We know where you can get a deal on a nice tiny coffin.
I got a guy. Don't worry. I got a guy.
Don't worry. Yeah. It'll be beautiful. We got sheep.
We got sheep carriage.
We'll just draw the coffin. Don't you worry.
That sheep coffin was used twice, or at least the carriage was. It was at his birthday party. Carriage?
Was it too? I didn't notice the reuse of the sheep carriage. That's a little sad.
But I mean, like, so I thought that if they had cut off like 2 hours, it would have been. So I get what you're saying. I'm glad you guys appreciated it for what it was. I wish I could. I think for at least where I was when I watched it, if they had cut it down by like an hour and a half, there were a lot of parts where I was like, wow, that's like gorgeous, or like that's hilarious. But then 90% of the time I was like, all right, that I get it. Go next,
Right. Yeah. Let's move along.
Interesting.
What do you guys think about paintings? Do you enjoy paintings? Looking at like paintings?
Not really. Bob Ross paintings. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I would have enjoyed like reading like some the positive and negative reviews of this film before I saw it. And most of the time I'd rather not do that before seeing a film. But like I was saying before, I think of it as even more prepared to be like, all right, some of the critical reviews are more just like, this is the whole point, is to not that this is just life and it's just happening to him.
Right. Yeah. Because life is long and life is full of bull. And here's all these things that happen,
But unlike, say, Fanny and Alexander, where that's kind of the same idea in some ways, in a lot of the scenes, with Fanny and Alexander, you feel like you're just kind of watching what's going on, and it's great. But you also feel involved, and it moves slow too, at least in the first half.
Yeah, but at least there was dialogue in that,
Right. Well, no, but here Kubrick has he wants to and this is why. He's so highly acclaimed, and that's part of his style. He has a very specific way that he wants to present this movie and this character,
and for
everything.
You to feel.
And exactly. He wants everything to be like this. He's like, all of those decisions, like, I want the narrator. I want him to tell you exactly or more or less what's going to happen, because I don't want that to be the focus of this film. This film's focus is not going to be, what happens next to Barry? Nope. So we're just going to take any of that suspense out to whatever extent we can.
I want to see a cut of this movie where they just remove the narration and keep everything else in. I think that would be way better.
Really?
Possibly, but that was the point. But the point of the narration is to take that suspense out. Kubrick didn't want this film to have that element.
That's so weird. And I mean, I agree that it's definitely a conscious decision. The movie is extremely, strangely the same throughout. It's like a weird style that I've never really seen before.
It's like I do feel like, and again, I think it's awesome, TC, that you like the character so much. I agree with Denny. I wish I would have liked to enjoy this film more too. But
I think what I felt, I related to just a normal person going through stuff and being jaded and not caring about anything but himself at that point when he got to that place, you know,
and just being kind of a fuck up in some ways, where you're just like, you know, all right, you're kind of going along with it, and you're just, but whatever, you're just trying to, you know, you're sort of like rolling with things and trying and being clever in some ways and brave in others. But then also not caring about the people around him. And I
also felt like the rest of the people around him were not to be liked either. So he was just fitting in with these horrible society, like this horrible echelon of society.
But he was a part of it. He was a big part of how horrible it was. Like he himself.
Well, but so are the rest of the people. That's how they acted. That's all of them.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. I think everybody was like cold and distant, sort of like Denny was saying. So it's like that's the world, and I don't know if it's the message. Is it? Do you think Kubrick's wanting to say this is how people really are? I don't think that's the case. Although he tends to be dark.
It could be. That's kind of
he was connecting the modern age of man to an older time where everything is exactly like it is now. People are gonna be shitheads. They're gonna do stupid things. They're gonna fuck up. They're gonna lie. They're gonna be jaded. They're gonna take advantage, and that's how it is all the time. And it's not like how you live your life, it's how you react to that kind of stuff. He didn't react great, but he didn't have shit. I mean, the first scene is him losing all his money.
Yeah.
And then having to figure it out. Like, and then just like ending up, and then as he ends up in these other predicaments, it makes him a jaded person.
Right. His dad was killed in a duel, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that right at the beginning?
Yeah. Can we talk about duels? I don't know how.
Yeah. By the way, how awesome is Polite, and how polite were those duels?
Yeah.
All right. That's it. He's going to shoot you now.
I mean so there's different rules for different duels. You notice that? Like one of them has both of them pointing the guns at each other. Like that's a weird way to do it. And then the other one is like
where you
turns.
both fire at the same time.
Yeah. That was funny.
I don't get it.
Did they really do that?
I don't know.
Did they really do that?
I hope not.
Duels were definitely a thing. I just don't know. I don't know how the rules worked, but
I always thought it was like you face back to back, and then you take 10 paces out, and then you spin around and fire.
That's a Western.
Right.
That's a Western.
Yeah. Well, that's just because that's the kind of movie you saw with the duels in it, and this is different.
Right. Yeah.
They're both stupid.
It was just so polite. That was I'm like, no one would be this polite. Like, just shoot the guy already. You know?
I think a big part of the problem for me was that the duels, I'm sure they happen that way, but also I didn't understand why, what's his name? Redman, or was that his real name? Barry Redman?
Yeah. Or just Barry.
Whatever. Barry was,
Lyndon?
He got
before Lyndon.
Before Lyndon, yeah.
Before he was Lyndon, yeah.
He got in trouble for firing at that captain or whatever in the beginning. How? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. If they're in a duel, I thought that was the way to like settle differences. And if you can get in trouble for dueling, why would you do it?
Because you don't have another choice.
No, you could go like, if you're going to get, I don't know, they acted like he was being charged with murder, right? And the whole thing was a setup, but I mean, why, if you were going to murder somebody, like if you were mad enough at them to try to murder them, why wouldn't you just go murder them?
Because that's not how they worked back then. They were polite.
It wasn't gentlemen. It wasn't honor. Yeah, it wasn't honorable.
And they were men of property. And, you know, like they have this stupid, like, aura about them as if they're better than everybody else. So they handle things in a much more sophisticated manner. Like, it's all a bunch of bullshit, really.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. I'm with you. Like, I totally get it. It didn't make sense to me either. As someone who punches people in the face, it didn't make sense to me either. All right?
Yeah. I guess that's where it started. I don't know. A lot of his motivations didn't make sense. A lot of I thought the most important storyline parts were skipped over. There seemed to be a couple of like, I don't know. So right before the intermission, did your guys' audio fade out to nothing in the middle of a sentence?
I don't remember that. I wasn't struck by anything like that.
They were talking about how the Lord Lyndon, like the father or the old husband Lyndon, was like a man of honor, and like how he died and everything, and then the dialogue just fades out. Like, and it's in the middle of a sentence, and it goes to intermission. I was like, "Is that?"
I feel like I would have remembered that. I don't know.
I think so too, but I didn't. I don't remember that happening.
How did you get it? Did you watch it on Amazon?
No, I got the Blu-ray, the Criterion Blu-ray from Netflix.
Oh well, I feel like that would be
correct. You'd think
that
so?
That would probably be fine. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I just rented it on Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, I just got the generic Netflix. My screen looks squished, but I think it might have just been the clothes that make everybody look stumpy.
Yeah, well, no, there was an
ratio.
issue. There was an issue with the aspect ratio.
Oh,
And
They filmed
shot
it on
in
NASA lenses.
No, they shot it on something and then squashed it. So you may have gotten a copy that was a little bit squashed and looked a little funny because that was an issue.
Did.
Yeah.
It definitely did look a little funny. Or
Kubrick had delivered, like when he would deliver the film to projectionists, he had like a list of requirements. Like you couldn't shoot it at a lumens higher than this. You couldn't shoot it you couldn't play it at like an aspect ratio wider than this. So they had manipulated stuff in the delivery. And I couldn't figure out what the reasoning was, but it's a little bit different than your usual 16:9 or 16:10.
Yeah.
It's like 1.661, or I forget what the hell it was. I was reading through it. So you might have just got a copy that was having that issue, and it looked a little scrunched.
Everybody looked a little stumpy.
Because I got a copy like that first online, and then I went to Amazon to rent it because I was like, that can't be the right thing. It looks like almost 4:3. It's like a little bit wider than 4:3. It almost looked square instead of the whole screen. And then the Amazon one was fine. It was my whole 1080p.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Crap. Did that detract from you, John, or was that fine to get used to it?
No, I just pretended. I just was like, well, everybody was smaller back then.
You just tilted your TV back like 15 degrees.
You just like your brain just connected the dots. You're like, I'm fine. I hate this guy. Moving on.
It was
Let's
fine.
go.
Yeah. But even then, I don't know. There was just so much still shots of people just sitting there looking sort of vapid that it was, just sort of vacant.
I liked that. So that was on purpose. That was supposed to
It
make
was
you
definitely
feel,
on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. No, there's no question about that. Like, I don't, there's a lot of craft going into this film. And
But it also kind of makes me mad because I really would want to like it. And TC, I know you wouldn't like jump on the, I love a Stanley Kubrick movie bandwagon for the sake of it, so it has something to it. But I still feel, even though knowing that people who like this movie kind of like it, I already said this, like it because it's Stanley Kubrick. They like slow because they like to be able to tolerate it more than normal people type of deal. And that's just probably a fault of my own. I don't know. Not know.
I mean, it's all good. You don't have to like the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to like the movie.
I wanted to. I'm going to watch it again. John, I do want to watch it again.
I mean, I think it would be fun. We may not get to it, but to compile a list of movies that we all like, either because we like them or because we wanted to like them more, that we sort of rewatch them at some point.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely one of those movies that I'd like to watch sometime down the road, just because now I know what it is. And I'm not expecting it to be anything else. And I mean, it's like win-win for UTC because you were on board with the characters right from the beginning, and maybe you share the same outlook on life that Kubrick does.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I don't know if it's that.
Know.
I just think I can relate to the situation of a guy who just does on his own and just making it up as he goes.
Well, I think that it's also like none of this matters, and we're all and sort of thing, kind of, I guess. Like, that final quote, at the very end.
I guess it's a little dark, yeah. I tend to be a bit dark.
It might be, but that might also be, and that might be the coldness that he's just showing, like the just vacantness of the people and being artistic about it. It's such a weird thing to be like, what's beautiful is the scenery and the way people are posed and the furniture and everything else, and the people themselves are beautiful too in terms of like how they're dressed and wigged out and everything. But it's not, the beauty is not in their actions or their
it's in the frame.
expressions.
It's in the frame. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, really interesting.
So do you think that when, what age is it when you get older in, olden times, in the 1700s, do they make you start wearing a gray wig?
Well, wasn't it just a part of he was just a part of society, right? It's like an echelon thing. Like you get to a certain point, now you wear a wig.
Right, but what age is that? Like, do you turn 40 and they're like...
No, it's monetary, isn't it?
The little boys could wear like, whether you got a gray versus a white wig.
Right, yeah.
Whatever, like the wigs changed as you get to the higher levels. And I don't think he was wearing a wig in the beginning.
But they were losing money. Like they lost money, he still had a gray wig on.
Yeah. I'm not sure if how many beauty marks you had also conveyed status. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Is that highlighting moles or is that they painted on?
No, it's
No, that's
stuff
some kind
you put
of
on.
Yeah, that was some kind of.
I just swore this is PG.
Oh, I've been swearing all day. You'll have to just beep, 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 beep.
There'd be a lot of beepings. It's PG.
It's PG, and there's 3 sets of boobs in
Really?
this movie.
And how about how it just starts out? Like, I think my first note was, this is gonna be over PG, I think, but it was like something really crude. Obviously, typical me. What was it? It was like, oh, just grabbing. Nothing wrong with that.
Cousins.
You know, like that. And that was like the
tits.
opening scene.
Yeah, that was.
Was it a cousin? It was a cousin, right?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
that as a question. Is that really his cousin? Because he's obviously in love with her. So that's some weird stuff.
I think that happened back then.
It was his cousin. I think it happens nowadays too. You know?
Yeah, just less fancy.
Well, not in, anyways.
She was
moving
being
on.
super creepy about that too.
Yeah, for sure he was. I loved the reaction of the Englishman. Being like, well, if a woman's doing that with her linen or whatever the hell he said, then I have no time for her and I must withdraw.
I had a question about
thought
that.
that was
So
great.
he broke up with her, right? On that scene you're talking about, like on the.
And then he was right there with her. Yeah.
right. Yeah. What happened there?
Yeah. That's your typical back flip flop, like every other couple does.
Oh, okay.
I'm mad at you, peace, and then I'm back. I like you.
Yeah, and then he threw the glass at his face.
Plus, it's kind of like a thing. Like they had a whole arrangement set up. Like it wasn't just like you like, okay, I like this woman, and like their families were involved. People were getting ready to like get money from the English government.
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing. It wasn't just, I like this chick and she's nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know though. That English.
But hey, Denny, just to get to you, my first note of the whole thing, right,
yeah.
was okay, this is boring, can't handle it. And then it was like all of a sudden I had 9 pages of notes. Like, all right, maybe I like this movie.
When did you write the boring part? Like what part of the movie was that? How far in was it?
Literally 5 minutes. So my first note that I wrote, so I got on the top of the title, on the top of the page, Barry Lyndon, and then after it, first note, so far, too slow.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, at
But
least
then
you
I
like
just
caught
kept
up to
writing
it.
and writing and writing, and then I was like, wait a second. I have like literally 8 pages so far, and I think I had like 13 pages of notes.
Holy
Oh wow.
dude.
Yeah, dude. It's like, well, try, because I knew that it was so detail oriented. If I didn't start writing stuff down as I saw it, I would totally forget about it.
Yeah.
Because my brain doesn't work. So,
What did you guys think about the French captain? Or sorry, the English captain that steals his cousin away?
I know. He was a coward.
He was hilarious. I think he's one of my favorite characters in the movie, I think.
Really? Why?
The scene where he has everyone marching and then he does a command and he turns his face and keeps marching. It made me
Right.
laugh pretty hard. Like the face he put on was pretty funny. And then there was a scene where he was dancing with her and it was ridiculous. Like he was like prancing around. I thought it was pretty funny. He was just over the top the entire time. And there were a couple of characters like that I really liked. Like the Lyndon father, that scene with him in the poker room. I loved that scene. You know what scene I'm talking about?
I believe so.
Where he has like a heart attack at the end or something.
Oh right. Yeah.
And he
spills
tells
his
them off
pills.
so good. He's like,
Yeah.
those should be from people who win. All right,
Right.
you take care, fellas. And he
Yeah.
just like walks off. I was like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Literally, this guy's about to steal your wife and your fortune, and he's gonna rub it in your face.
And yeah. Bye.
I watched this documentary on Stanley Kubrick for this movie called A Life in the Pictures, and I watched like specifically the Barry Lyndon part for it. And the scene, so let's play like favorite scene, least favorite scene. I'll go least favorite scene first, just because this is where I'm going with this. I wrote down as my least favorite scene when he courts Lady Lyndon for the first time, when he walks out into the courtyard super slowly and just like turns her around. It takes like 3 minutes for him to like walk out and kiss her. And I was like, why is this happening?
Denny's got like a stopwatch out.
Yeah, I'm
he's like
this
clicking.
is-
He's looking up, looking at the stopwatch.
It's like
looking
almost
back up at the frame.
comically slow. Like I don't even know if it's being played for laughs. I don't think so because the music is like super serious. But
Right.
But then I watched this documentary and it's Martin Scorsese describing this scene and how it's like how beautiful it is and how it's like perfectly timed, and I just don't understand. Like I just felt completely disconnected from what this movie was going for. I was like, well, I have to try again, I guess, but either that or just not for me. Something like that.
Yeah, just a swing and a miss for you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, swing and a miss.
I mean-
but then
What would you guys say
Denny.
your
Then
least
Denny.
favorite scenes were? And we'll go to best after. Favorite scenes afterwards.
let's see. Least favorite scenes.
TC loved it all.
No. No, there was some stuff I had like what? Like what the hell just happened? I wrote a couple times. But the thing is, I don't write down time code or anything, so I don't friggin' know when that was from. You know, I'm not writing down like the moment it happened. I'm just writing down like in big letters, what just happened?
Yeah.
If you got anything, John, go for it. Because I'm looking through.
it's all. I mean, it all just blends. So it's hard to pick out like the scene that I was really annoyed by, because the movie, the pacing of the movie is pretty methodical all the way through. So it all just blends together for me, for better or worse. I mean, everything feels orchestrated. So whether I didn't mind that balcony scene or whatever, the courtyard scene, they were like eyeing each other over while gambling, and perhaps like somehow like conveying things just by how they were exchanging glances or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't care. The movie just didn't frankly care about like how he courted her or anything like that.
No.
How the relationship developed, anything like that. It just didn't care. I think about now that I think about it, I think I got most annoyed in the movie with when he was being so adoring to his son. It just felt like so overplayed. Yes, my darling, and this, my darling, and it seems so like over the top, especially in contrast with like the lack of emotion throughout the rest of the film.
But that's the one thing that's human about him. So it makes sense that he's that.
Right, that it's like all overplayed, and he's
because the rest of his life he couldn't give it.
I know.
I
guess that's the point, but I was still sort of annoyed by it. I was like, ah.
Well, if I was that father, I would have been, you're not getting a horse and you're going back to school, so shut up.
Daddy, hold my hand. Mommy,
no, I'm not holding your hand. Hold your own hand. Go away.
You got two of them, don't you?
Yeah, you got two of them over there. Hold one. John, leave me alone.
You're going to get your brains over my clothes.
Yeah. Or if I was that kid too, Daddy, stop calling me darling.
Yeah.
All right,
me nauseous.
Yeah, it makes me nauseous.
I don't know. So good. Again, but so that to me it just started to feel a little like overplayed. I don't know, but again, I understand. I guess that that was the point. He really loves this guy, and maybe I think just the actor himself. I didn't really like. I didn't like him sort of as an actor, and he seemed so pretty boy, pasty faced, sort of angel like looking. Like they'd have it like it seemed like he was often in like a golden light. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was what I'd go with the fawning over his child. Even though it was still a rough thing, you'd be like, that's when Nikki stopped watching the movie.
She got that far and shut it off?
Yeah.
How?
The narrator's like,
that's crazy.
Well, the boy's gonna die. And she's like, I'm out.
Wow.
It's like, that's enough.
Should have been like, don't worry, Nikki, you're not going to care about it when it happens.
Yeah, well, I think it's still that's still rough.
Yeah.
You're gonna, I mean, they portray the death. I thought actually the wife going nuts after poisoning herself by contrast was pretty disturbing emotionally.
Yeah.
That sort of comparison, it made me think a little bit of the Fanny and Alexander scene, not in a different way, but where it just felt uncomfortable. It's like, that's, hey.
Oh, I know the one I didn't like. I got it.
All right, here we go.
I didn't like that one where they were giving him the award and they were berating him for it. I was so confused. That's the one where I was like, what just happened? They're like,
when was this?
It's when he was in the Prussian army and he like saved the commander. So they had to award him. But as they were talking to him and giving him the award, they were like, no such soldier. They were just giving him nothing but shit. And I was so confused. I'm like, what are they doing here? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to award him or are they trying to piss him off? Like, I don't get it. And his answer was so like ambiguous. Yeah, he was receiving a reward for saving the guy.
Huh.
And then like as he came up to get the reward, the two things, whatever the hell it was, whatever money they had back then, they were like giving him shit for it. They're like, no soldier should be like you and this and that. And like, although you saved the commander, like you act but he was like an idiot.
He was a deserter from the other army. He wasn't their countryman, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I don't know. So maybe
It was just a strange scene that I like. Again, that might have been one that they could have done without because nothing happened because of it. Like they didn't.
No, well, that's how they then ask him to go spy. Like shortly after that, right? They ask him to, or is that like well after? That's after the war ends that they ask him to go spy.
No, you might be right about that. Maybe that's what spawns that whole thing. Like I don't remember, but yeah. That's all I got. That was my least favorite part. That's the one where I just wrote in huge letters, "What just happened?"
What just happened? I don't even remember that happening. That's yeah.
That's probably because you were like, "What is this?"
I was trying to
make any
stare.
sense.
I was staring at the background and being like, "Whoa,
Whoa,
so painterly."
It is painterly though,
It
and
is.
symmetrical. They had a lot of symmetry in those shots. They would position the characters that they wanted to make seem larger than life, like perfect center.
Yeah, and they had a lot of like mountains that were like the peak of the mountain was directly in the center of the frame.
Yep,
Stuff like that.
was
Buildings
good
in the
stuff, man.
center.
I love symmetry.
Yeah, I mean, it was so like I've noticed Stanley Kubrick's slow zoom outs and slow zoom ins before, and they're nice, and the symmetry
reveal.
is nice, but it was like every shot, and that could be considered a good thing, but I thought it was a little overdone. Like put a little variety in there. I seemed like there was.
Right.
I wrote a note, and John, you mentioned it earlier, like the slow zoom outs. There was too many of them, but they were like it was one after another, and almost every time that was happening, almost no movement was going on. There might be some people like eating bread like at a
you're
table or
They
something
were
like
sitting
that.
still though. They were very sitting still.
Yeah, you might have like the primary characters doing something or whatever. But again, it was like you were observing a painting.
Right.
And
But this is a movie. This is a freaking movie. Kubrick. If I want to look at a painting, I'd go to a museum and donate $5.
yeah.
But I would never do that because I don't like doing that.
That's all he's got on. That's all. Denny just made a huge statement there. All he's got on modern art is $5.
Yeah, $5. That's all because
That's
they,
right.
You got a painting? I got $5.
They make
They're
you
like,
feel
sir, this
guilty
one's
if you
worth
don't put anything in
500,000. He's
there.
like, I don't care. I got $5.
$5. And I can just zoom out myself. I can just stand there and I can walk backwards.
all right, let's do favorite moments. I got a pretty good one, I think.
I got a good one. Yeah, go
favorite
for it.
shot. It's like one individual shot. It's kind of a
I
big.
bet you it's the same one I have.
Probably. It's I think it definitely is for me because it's so far along in the movie and I was like already checked out and this one shot happens and I was like, holy shit, that was awesome. It was the scene where the
Nice.
kid falls off the horse.
Oh, yeah?
Different one.
Okay, that's different from mine, yeah.
How did they do that? That horse had a kid on it and it fell over and the kid fell. Like it.
Oh, yeah.
How did that happen? How did they
It
film
seemed
that?
like they shot it from below, so he might have had pads behind them.
But you see him landing on like the grass. I guess they could have.
No, you
hidden
don't
it.
see his body on the grass. You see it. He like disappears into the grass.
I think he
don't
goes
think
off
you see him hit the
frame.
grass.
I think he goes
Yeah.
off frame, and then they cut to him on the grass.
I just thought that was like
Yeah.
amazing, like shocking, and I felt something. I was like, oh man, that kid's like he's dead. You know?
Kid's done.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't know he was. I mean, I was not surprised.
I didn't
was just
care.
like,
I
oh,
forgot.
yeah.
I was like, all right, whatever. Things are gonna
He's
happen at a zero pace. Yeah, it's just
the
gonna.
narrator was just like blah 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 to you at that point.
so this
Yeah.
ends with the kid dying? That's cool. Is it done? Are we done? We're not done. God
Wait,
damn
go
it,
down.
we're not
Hang on.
done.
Even a scene like that duel scene where you think, hey, it's a duel and it's realistic. Let's the tension is gonna be up. I was just like, this is somehow slow and boring.
Yeah.
I was just flat for most of the movie, but that horse scene, I was like, whoa, So that's
Yeah.
mine. That was my problem.
That's cool. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one. What do you got, John?
So yeah, I already said this. I think the duel scene, I'd sort of like, I was perked up a bit there because like right before the stepson comes back, he like has this moment where he talks about how maybe he deserves what he's got and he deserves. Barry's like saying, people are treating me terribly and I think I deserve it and I know what I must do now.
Yeah.
And that scene ends, and then the next scene is he's there, drunk. And the stepson comes up and challenges him to a duel. So I don't know if that meant that Barry so I thought somehow he was making this happen. I don't know. So I didn't understand that. I thought that scene meant something because Barry knew what he must do. What is it he must do? Like, go get drunk. But then, so I was like interested to see what happened in the duel. It made me think that he would do something like what he did, like fire into the ground. But that scene, the formality of it, I really liked that. I that because it's a duel and yet there's all this formality and acknowledgement and like going over the rules. And is that okay with you, sir? Or whatever they say,
Yeah.
and just like the methodicalness of it. I thought was pretty cool because I felt that was tense at that point because I didn't really know what was going to happen.
Me either.
I thought that I didn't have the narrator there did not tell you what was going to happen. So the narrator had kept his mouth shut for a good while at that point.
Imagine if the narrator was just like with the dude with the alligators. Oh, and he's about to shoot him with the gun.
Crikey!
Crikey, he's coming up with the gun. And here he comes. We're going over the rules. We're going over the rules.
They should have gotten Bill Burr to do it or something. Some Irishman, some Irish comedian.
Can you imagine Bill Burr doing that? What are these guys doing? This guy's got a gun. Just shoot him already. That would be funny. Yeah, what we should do is do our own commentary.
Oh, yeah.
For our own voiceover over the film. Like MS3K or whatever that was.
There'd be a lot of talking, a lot of space to fill
so
there.
my favorite shot in the whole movie was that cabin on fire. How long that must have taken. It must have taken so long to get that cabin in a raging inferno. They had to be there for what? Hours letting that thing burn before they got the one shot? And what was he just sitting there going, nope, not yet. Let it get a little bit more on fire. No. All right, go. It's halfway down. Let's go.
That's true.
I mean, that thing was burning up.
Where was this? Because I'm so sorry. This movie just seems to blend together for me. Like
John nodded off.
I don't know the exact moment. I can try and find it. But it's 3 hours long. What do you expect?
It's more.
My brain
than
doesn't
3.
work. I write things down. Yeah, I write things down. I just felt like I just tried to take it from a production standpoint.
Was that during the war or something? One of the war scenes, or what was the context there?
Let me just find it.
You scan it through
it and find it as we go. Yeah, I'll scan through it. But I just remember thinking from a production standpoint alone.
Yeah.
That was their one shot of the day, right? It was like that hour that everyone loves, the magic hour, right? It was like just before dusk, and that thing was halfway burned.
Yeah.
And they had to burn it. There's no CG back then, right? Like,
yeah.
I'll find it and let you know.
Yeah, so I guess there's no stories of Kubrick treating his actors terribly from this one, right? Because he wasn't really expecting much from them.
No, everyone
he just got to stand there.
Yeah, everyone who talked about this one, this one unfortunately is one of 2 movies that Kubrick has that has no special features at all. This and Lolita, which isn't on the top 250. So this will be like, hopefully the next one there'll be a lot more information. I'm sure you guys.
To look through. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, to like there's commentaries for other movies by like movie historians and crap, and there's interviews and things like that. This one didn't have much. There was like a 10-minute section in that Life of Stanley Kubrick documentary and some interviews with people after the fact, but that's about it. So I got a little stuff there, but I got some questions in the main plot for you guys. They're just like things I wanted to bring up for discussion real quick. What did you think about? So I'm sure, again, watching it, I assumed everything that Kubrick did was authentic as possible. I don't know if you guys heard this. He was going to do a movie on Napoleon, so he spent a lot of time researching for that.
Ooh, that would have been great.
Yeah, but so the budget for that one would have been ridiculous, and he never got it made, so he used all of his research for that movie in this movie. So there was like years and years of research he did for this one. So he actually got clothing from that time period, actual clothing, in addition to costumes made to like a T of designs back then with the fabrics they were made with. So like all the clothing and stuff was like, perfect. But what did you think about the battle scene?
I hate how they fought back then.
I know.
How stupid are you?
Yes.
Walking towards the fucking gunfire and then just lying down. What's wrong with you people?
It's frustrating.
Oh, it was frustrating.
That's what they did, exactly. But at the same time, watching it, I was like, I can't stand this. Like, you guys are all going to die. Do you not care? Like, no one cared about dying?
No, and how about how serious you had to be involved to like continue walking?
Yes.
That takes a lot of guts.
Down goes John. There goes TC. Gotta keep walking.
Gotta keep going. Like, what?
I don't get it.
I think the battle scenes, like, I can't believe they ever fought that way. I think my note that I wrote is there's got to be a better way to war than this.
Any other way. Lay down on the ground and crawl towards them. You have a better chance.
Right. I mean, back in remember in Gladiator or something, right? Like there's bow and arrows. Like, keep a distance. Do something, but walk 20 feet from all the gunfire.
And also, when you get in range of the other guns, don't you want to like start running or stop and then shoot back at them or something? Like, you're just walking into gunfire. What is the strategy here? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think, again, it was just sort of odd. People had certain very rigid conceptions of what war was. I mean, there's just sort of, it's really interesting to think about like that camouflage, for example, was like something that used to be laughed at. So like the soldiers would have, like British soldiers would have bright red uniforms.
Yeah.
So you can see.
And come World War
I,
right? that began to be a problem.
Yeah.
But it took them a long time to admit that, that's probably a bad thing.
Well, and I guess maybe just because they kept winning.
Well, maybe too. Maybe yeah, that's true. That's a fair enough point. Like it worked good enough up till this point.
Yeah, right. Like who cares about Tom, Dick, and Harry? Like they're dead. It doesn't matter to me. We won.
But it's one of the interesting things. Like World War I is part of that, but it was already, things were already dying out at that point. But there's just like they just broke a lot of the rules, sort of quote unquote rules of warfare, were just like broken. And then people had to adapt to win, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'm just thinking of in my head right now. Do you think they did it like that with the lines and stuff, so they could not only try to attack the enemy, but also keep track of all of their own soldiers? Because if they like split off and tried to do it all sneaky like, then like groups of soldiers might be like, "Hey, let's get out of here," and then just like run off into the woods.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's
logical as hell right there. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about history. I'm just guessing, but I can't think of any other reason.
Historical warfare.
Yeah, I don't know any other reason why you would do that. I can't think of anything else that would make sense. But
because you're dumb.
Yeah, I don't like reading books. I like watching the movies.
No, guys, it's cool. We're just gonna keep walking. Are you sure? Like they're shooting at us. No, we're good. Just keep walking.
And
guys.
how do you practice for that? Like, do people
just walk?
You just walk? But do they fire like guns at you, like loud, like blanks or something? So you get used to the
like
loud
back in
noise?
the day, they just got their hands going. Pew, 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 pew. All right, keep walking. Pew, 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 pew.
Have you
You're
guys
dead, you're
ever
dead, you're
been to
dead.
like a Civil War reenactment?
No.
No, I haven't.
No,
Have you?
Have you ever?
Thank God.
I have been. And have you ever heard a musket go off,
No, not live. Is it
John?
loud as hell?
John?
No, not live.
No, it is loud. It's f***ing loud as shit. Just like one going off is like ridiculously loud, and it's not fun. Like it's unpleasant how loud it is, and I can't imagine like 60 of those things. Your ears just must instantly go like boop, and you're like, oh
right.
god,
Yeah, you couldn't even hear.
Yeah,
right.
Instantly. I would assume they probably plug their ears full of stuff, but it would be awful. Just that, and then you get shot.
Yeah, right.
Huh.
You look over at the next guy. Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I
John.
just was doing a little bit of quick research here that part of the reason is just the muskets themselves, even though they don't show this in the film.
Oh, they're not
produced
long range.
Produced but they produced a whole lot of smoke. And you could barely, after the first volley, nobody could see anything.
Really?
Oh.
Why?
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that sucks. Like, what are you supposed to do?
It's just like bad technology at the time.
Yeah. I mean, there was just like, it's a lot more smoke, ash, powder residue, and noise. And so it's like hard to know what the hell is going on. So like if you wanted to keep an effective fighting force, they had to kind of all like stick together and point at the right direction.
That makes sense.
So then they didn't do a great job then of being realistic because there didn't seem to be much smoke.
That's true.
No,
in those
well,
fights.
you wouldn't have seen anything, right? But,
Yeah.
Yeah, if the French were like
Interesting.
engulfed in smoke, then I'd be like, oh, they're walking because they know that the French can't see anything, and they're just gonna like go up real close and just blast them.
And shoot them all away.
Yeah.
If they make it that
Yeah,
far.
if they like half of them will make it, maybe a quarter, and that's enough. Just like unload. There's only like 5 lines of people. It seemed like there wasn't that many people.
No, it didn't seem like that many. You're right.
But I mean, for a movie, that was a lot of extras and a lot of costumes.
Yeah.
But
yeah. My other favorite
Yeah.
part was when he's on the trail there and he sees the girl. And like I got this really so he's on the horse. He's like, "Is there an inn anywhere? Like I haven't eaten in 2 days." Like it's like when you're in your car and you're on empty. You're on empty, and you're like, "I have no gas." And then you get to that sign on the highway. It's like next stop 34 miles, and you're like, "Oh boy, I'm not gonna make this. How am I gonna do this?" And you have that like instant panic of like, I'm just going for it, but like, where am I going? I don't even know. Like, how am I gonna get gas? And like, I remember thinking, like, all I could think of was like, "Hey, hon, you look great. I'd love to have, whatever with you, but where's the inn?
Yeah.
I am starving right now, right?"
Yeah.
I thought that was just so like it was so like relatable to
Road
now
trippy.
with just like road tripping, right? And having no idea where you are and just being either out of food or gas, and then like
And then
not
you go
knowing what to
bang
do
a
next.
German widow, just like you.
I mean,
you
why
do.
not? You
Yeah.
know, 2 birds with one stone. 2 birds stoned at once.
Did your guys' version of this movie have subtitles for the different languages?
No.
Nope. That was hard to understand.
That
those
was
parts.
hard. I was confused for sure.
You just sort of assumed. And again, the movie's like, screw you. We don't care. This isn't about what people say, really, or even do. It's more about just, hey, everybody's just along for the ride. It doesn't really matter anyway because they're all going to die. And I don't know. I mean,
and it kind of just seemed like there was, in the context, like whatever they were saying was irrelevant. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was kind of the thing too. So, there was.
But it did take me a minute to get to that thought. At first, I was like, wait, how does Amazon not have subtitles for the French?
Right.
Yeah. I was like pissed. I was like, what do you mean? Did I get a bum copy? So I started like turning the closed caption on and off, and it just had them in French. It just put the words up in French. I'm like, okay, great. Now I can read the French. But I
had a thought for this. I was like, maybe the guy who's doing the subtitles got bored and was like, all right, it probably doesn't have different languages, and shut it off. It was the same feeling I had for the ratings board, who got like an hour in and he's like, all right, PG, nothing's happening. And like at 2 hours in, there's boobs and you're like, oops, you missed it.
So like, it's total like workman's incompetence.
Yeah, you just get bored and shut it off. Just like
you have a point because those parts didn't come in until late.
And
they weren't.
And so the third set of boobs was like artistic. She was in the bath. Like that was like a painting. Yeah, but the two first pair, he was like, it was sexual because he was making out with these two people he was cheating on his wife with.
Right.
You would think that would, I mean, it was like the shot was beautifully set up and everything, but there was some boobs in there. Boobs.
That's true. That's definitely not PG, right? I mean,
this is back in a time before PG-13, so it might have been harder to rate them.
Oh, right.
That's true. There might have been more space. I mean, it certainly wasn't. It wasn't played up like. I mean, it was sort of almost happening in the background. It wasn't like you had a sharp focus on the scene of what he was doing.
Well, what was with the soldiers all like a cappella?
I didn't even notice.
What's that about?
I didn't even notice the boob shots. I didn't. So,
but that one scene where they're in the whorehouse, how could you not have noticed that?
Yeah,
I didn't notice the actual boobs.
John was staring at his screen, eyes glazed over for 3 hours.
Dude, John was KO. Yeah. John was KO as hell after the first intermission. He was like, "That's it. I'm good. I'm done." Yeah.
Oh,
done.
I broke it up into 2 nights because
smart. I marathoned it.
Yeah, I went right through. Took like way too many notes.
What else you got? So those are most of my notes. Yeah. What you got? Anything else interesting that you put down that you want to talk about?
Pretty much.
A very important scene that I also wanted to talk about was the scene in the church. Was it a church when Barry beats his son-in-law up?
I don't think that was the church. That's like the parlor where they were having a concert.
Concert. Right.
Yeah. What did the little boys brought in clunking on the boots.
That scene confused me the most out of the entire movie until I knew what was going on, because it lasted for like 3 minutes of the kid like clap, 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 clap. You're like, what? Did my movie break? What is happening right now?
Oh, really? Oh, no. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, obviously that I thought that that the stepson wants to just piss off dad, so this is a great way to just sort of ruin the concert.
Well, in the beginning, I couldn't tell if like the shoes were supposed to be as loud as they were, and like the mix was off because no one was like looking at him immediately. But like when he got halfway down the aisle, like, people were staring at him, and the music eventually stops. But in the beginning, I was like, "Wow, that kid's shoes are oddly weird, and this shot is oddly long. Like I don't really know what's happening right now." That happened a bunch. Yeah, but did you think that was so? Like reading a lot of reviews, that scene it's like a big turning point. That's like the start of the downfall. Like the first half of the movie is supposed to be the rise of Barry, and the second half is supposed to be the fall of Barry. So says the title cards. But like, and that, according to everybody, is the beginning of his downfall, or at least the peak, like acceleration of his downfall.
Everybody like he's teetering on the brink again with debts and whatnot. Anyway, right?
But publicly, like embarrassing himself and like being petty and all that stuff.
That was a pretty. I'd say that was a pretty effective fight scene. I thought it was very disturbing. He really went after him.
Yeah.
What I have on those, my notes on that is public humiliation is real in this part. Medusa hair is disappointed, and then I wrote, the guy's Irish. We fight. Get over it.
Yeah. She knew what she was getting into.
Oh yeah. Get over it. Guy likes to fight. What do you want?
Also, his son seemed pleased when it was happening, and I was curious about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like when he was getting pulled out of the room by Medusa head over there, like he had a big smile on his face.
Hey, Medusa.
She was very.
That was pretty Medusa hair, right? I mean,
that,
it was kind of
that wig in
ridiculous.
that scene, that wig in that scene was crazy.
She was like,
It
what's her
was.
name from Alice in Wonderland, the new ones? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the end though, where they kind of had that feeling of like, you know, when you got money, like even when you have money, like life's a pain in the ass. Like they're still signing check. Like she's still signing the guy's check for him to leave.
Yeah, she
at
hates
the
him
end.
so much she just pays to not
Like
see him.
she hates him so much that she still has to pay him, and then she sees that and hates her life because she's still paying this guy and every other jerk that he screwed over or had to pay. And
Is the first scene we see with them after their marriage him blowing, like him ignoring her and then blowing like pipe smoke into her face?
Oh,
that's
that
way
scene-
back. That's way back.
No, I'm saying like right after they get married. That's like the first
Would
scene.
you please not smoke in so much? And he's like, poof, right in your
I
face.
didn't think I could hate him more, but I could, and that was it. Just like, dude, why are you such an asshole?
Because he's an aristocrat now, and he's higher echelon, and that's how they are.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what they were always like. Any of his friends were like that.
Yeah.
They were all assholes, and they were gamblers, and they were misogynists, and they were, you know,
Cheaters.
philanderers. They were assholes.
Yeah.
And he fit right in after that.
A part of the narration, too, when the narrator was like, and he wanted to be a pure gentleman from here on out. Did he ever really want to do that? Like, I felt like the narrator was adding stuff that, you know, wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely exaggerating that. But again, when he shoots at the ground and not the kid, he could have killed that kid.
That was
real
surprising.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had a heart, and losing his kid definitely screwed him up.
Maybe so. I think he thought that
The kid would want to stop.
the kid would stop, but also like his downfall would be certainly complete anyway if he shoots his kid and kills his
Not in a
stepson,
duel.
I think.
It's very polite.
No,
Not in a
that's the thing,
duel.
though, because he
Okay.
got in trouble. The first thing he got in trouble with was shooting the wrong person in a duel, you know? That's why he ended up leaving
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Supposedly they faked that, which that was a cool twist.
That was a cool twist.
But
I
also
didn't see
the
that
twist
coming,
on
to
the
be
twist was that they faked it, but the guy was still scared, so he was in a coma for a long time. Or like, you know,
I know that
passed
was
out.
bad. He woke up scared. He
Yeah.
said that was awesome. Like, so you still got him, son. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's up for debate whether he had, you know, empathy, but I think he did. And they tried to play that up with the son, and then that last duel, and him being just a drunken mess grieving, and the mother having to carry him off the bed, and you know, very normal reactions to tragedy.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was a total psychopath, he would just be like, don't care, kid's gone, great, moving on. Next, let's gamble and take all their money, too. Like, that's what a psycho would do.
Yeah, that was the first time he didn't just get up and move on from his bad fortune.
No,
Right.
he was upset.
And I did
Yeah,
like
for sure.
that aspect of the whole story, the generalized story that is, when life screws you over, you just got to find the next answer, the next path.
Yeah,
You just bounce on, which he did,
Yeah,
like
and he did.
greatly. Yeah.
he did.
And then he did that typical thing that people do when they have success and money and fame and all that crap like they do now. They lose themselves.
Yeah,
Oh, I
some
don't think
people.
I don't think he ever had himself though. I think he was like he never had. I don't think he knew where to go.
Well, right. But when you go from needs driven to
Yeah.
like excess,
Right.
I mean, like it's easy to just be like, whatever.
Right. Well, he just went right to even with the excess, he was right to the next need because he needed to become a lord or become a noble or whatever, and that's what he then he was always like more.
Yeah, that's true. It was greedy a little bit.
Well, but also like that was his. That's what he'd done all his life. He just was grasping for
For the next thing. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like
And that was the mother, right? That was coming up with that idea? That was his mother.
Yeah, to get him
You
out of
think
there.
When she's like, you have to become a lord. And like, if you can do that, you're going to be fine.
I actually don't know.
Right.
I don't know whose idea it
I
was.
think that was his mother.
no, I think you're right that she was just maybe I don't remember. I seem
She was
to
like,
remember
you
that.
have barely gotten by these years. You're hanging on by a thread. If you want to be okay, you need to make yourself like a proper man. But in his world, all that meant was becoming something of higher echelon, not like doing better. But she meant it too that way. So I mean, he's getting it from the top down.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. This movie was nominated for 7 Oscars, and it won 4 of them.
Wow.
It won Best Cinematography, Art Direction, Set Decoration, Best Costume Design, and Best Music, Original Song and/or Adaptation Score. And Stanley Kubrick got nominated 3 times for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Writing. He didn't win any of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's typical Oscars.
Yeah. If you guys were to guess what the budget of this movie was, what would you guess?
It was made in 75.
75.
Well, he would come off of 2000. This was after 2001.
This was after Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. So was that a successful movie? I don't even know.
Yes.
We'll be able to discuss that later. But that was, I could see it being successful or not just because of how disturbing it was.
It was successful.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd think that they're like, all right, what you got next, Stanley? Come on, and they'd bankroll him for a little bit more. So I'm going to say $2 million.
$2 million.
$2 million. That's it.
That's not much. This is after 2001: Space Odyssey. After Spartacus.
I'd be like, I'm more like 20 to 30.
Really? It's still the 70s. I went, okay. What do you got?
TC 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So John, you're going to stick with 2. You might as well. I mean, that was your first guess. That counts.
Yeah. To the bitter end.
11 million.
Neither one of us were close.
Yeah. We're about in the middle.
Yeah. I thought it would be more. I'm with TC. Like, it seems like with all the sets and the costumes and the extras. And
I don't think they had to build a lot of the sets in this one. They just had these places.
They had to build that house that they burned down.
That's true. And the exteriors were there in Ireland and England, but it didn't say anything about the interiors. So
there's a lot of really fancy houses they probably had to rent from really rich people.
Right.
There
were some of those paintings in those houses.
They were
like
huge.
The whole wall, 20 feet tall. It was insane.
And the shooting took over 300 days of shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard. I remember reading like they did so many takes, like 10, 20, 30 takes.
50 takes sometimes.
50 takes?
Yeah, sometimes 50 takes.
Oh, man.
And
you'd
apparently
be lucky to get 5 now.
The biggest factor to the long shoot was replacing all of the candles.
Oh yeah, the candles. Those goddamn the candles.
They all have to be like burned at the same spot.
Yep.
Like
wasn't that a Fanny and Alexander issue as well?
It was. Yeah, but they didn't do as many. I don't know. This movie had a kind of an equivalent amount of candles. I think like there was a lot in both.
No. I think that this movie had more like
chandeliers.
They didn't have as many.
There's a lot of chandeliers with candles in them, in the chandeliers.
Yeah, but there were a smaller number of candles. Like I thought in this one, but they were more close up, like where they were like seemed to be directly lighting the scene. I think in like Fanny and Alexander, there were just candles everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, for the hell of it.
Yeah,
when that kid was going to bed and he's like, I want to leave the candles on. I would have been like, no, you're going to burn the house down. I'm putting the candles out. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Burn the house down. What are you, stupid?
Are you dumb?
It's all dusty cloth everywhere. We're going to die.
Yeah, put them out. Put them out. What's wrong with you?
If you were to guess what it grossed worldwide, what would you guess?
2 million.
2 million.
10 million. 10 million.
31.5 million.
Oh.
Damn. I should have
So it wasn't a flop.
Not a huge flop. And it also says that it's made a 9.5 million in rentals.
Whoa.
So it was like a big hit on VHS, apparently.
Yeah, VHS.
Yeah.
That laser disc was selling strong, let me tell you.
Well,
how many VHS tapes do you think this was? Like 5? People probably just rented it because it was like the same price as a normal movie and it came with 5 VHS tapes.
Not like 2.
2?
Well,
no.
45 minutes of
Titanic was like 3, wasn't it? Maybe 2. I don't know. Probably 3.
Honestly, thank God we don't remember.
Yeah.
It's over. VHS is dead.
VHS was terrible.
Oh, I remember when those came out though. Like the very first ones, they were like selling for over $100 because it's like, wow, think of it. You can actually own a movie.
I have a copy of the movie Return to Oz, which was the sequel to Wizard of Oz, and it has $89.99 printed on the outside on the hardcover.
Whoa!
For VHS, I got it on eBay in high school for like $15.
But $89.99 was the original.
Somebody bought that for
when they first came out. I mean, again, it was just like that was such a you couldn't even imagine that you could own a whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, right
play
now
it as many times as you want.
Right now, they have that thing where you can buy movies that are still in theaters for your home theater, and it's like $100 something bucks. It's like super expensive.
Oh, I thought it was like a $10,000 a year membership or something.
Oh, I've heard of that too. I'm not sure that's happened yet. There's people are trying to stop that from happening.
Oh, great. The rich can be more rich and get everything sooner. Awesome.
Well,
That's
the theaters are
fantastic.
afraid that people will stop going to theaters. So they want to keep
They will.
Like, yeah, they might. But I wouldn't. But
The rich people will, but not us.
yeah, I love the theaters.
I do too.
Yeah. So any more thoughts on this one, guys? I like, this is the most
I've
diverse
run the
for
gamut.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm happy for you, TC.
What do we got coming up next week? What do we got coming
Yeah,
up next
I
week?
think, again, well done, TC. Good job.
Here and
being
there,
the
I salt
positive
and
one.
pepper and, some effort.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, next week we have Prisoners.
Oh, yes. This one, I was looking it up. This one looks kind of good. I haven't seen it, though. Have you?
I have not, but I am terrified about seeing this. Isn't it about the kidnapping of the children
Yes.
thing?
And
Yeah,
this movie
it's
is
rough.
so we talked about Arrival like last week or a couple weeks ago. This is the first Denis Villeneuve movie on the list,
Oh.
and I think he
Oh.
has 2 on the list. This is the first one, and this one is recent, and he's working with the cinematographer that's going to be working with him for the new Blade Runner movie.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Well, this could be good
that's
then,
all.
huh?
That's very exciting then. Other than the subject matter, which might be
Yeah,
really
it's going to be
disturbing.
tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be disturbing.
I
as
don't think
hell,
Nikki
yeah.
might not watch this one with me either.
Naomi
Yeah.
watched it with me, and I think in my head, I think she liked it, but I think she might have hated it.
Yeah,
Right.
she's just being nice.
It got a very real reaction.
So you're
out of her.
saying no. She did.
If Nikki, I'll say in the Vegas way, if Nikki gets upset easily by things, then she shouldn't watch it
Yeah.
because there are some things,
Well, I think the
possibly
There
some
are
stuff.
things.
I think the subject matter of children being abducted is enough
never
to be
good,
to be
yeah.
like a no
Yeah,
at that
No.
point. So
Yeah.
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 Well,
I mean,
that's
that-
cool.
yeah,
So read the synopsis for us all, so we know. I
So
kind of
wait.
interrupted you there.
Did we do it? Did we do a top 250
Oh yeah.
vote on this
Oh,
one?
we should absolutely. Good call, John. TC, you go first.
I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
If Fanny and Alexander's going to be in there, then yeah.
So a quick question: which one did you like more out of those 2?
I don't know, because they brought out different kind of emotions. So
Huh?
that's a tough one.
But similar enough where you can't quickly
yeah,
decide.
similar. Yeah, no, I can't quickly decide on which one would be better.
Oh,
It's a
that's
tough
cool.
one because it brings us back to the point of like the director forcing his viewpoint on you versus not. And this is 2 different kind of films.
Yeah,
But-
that's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, John, what would you do?
At least from this watching, no. I mean, and there's also a number of other Kubrick films here that we're going to be watching. So I think it's a no for me.
I'm gonna go.
I feel like we're on, what is it? America's Got Talent or something like that. No, I'm sorry, Barry Lyndon. It's a no
That's
for
a
me.
no.
Sorry, Barry Lyndon. No, that's a no.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
it was a good try.
We have to,
Good try, mate. Good
polarize
try.
our thing as much as possible to make it easy to palate whether we liked it or not, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
But I'll also go no, but I wish it was a yes. I want to watch it again. I'm going to try to make it a yes over time.
Well, we're going to put it on the list of the secondary watch, and then I got a yes, you got a yes, and then John's got a no.
No, I got a no.
Got it.
I'm doing a no right now.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I'll say, yeah, I did not enjoy it. I was bored to tears.
Cool.
But I appreciate the craft.
So it made you cry.
Oh,
It got
I was
to you.
crying, yeah.
With boredom.
Yeah, with boredom.
But you cried.
And I actually
There we
watched
go.
this in the same situation. So I was hungover from a New Year's party when I watched this. So it was like hungover from a Halloween party for Fanny and Alexander, loved it. Hungover from a New Year's party for this one, didn't like it.
Hate it. So state of mind was the same,
Yeah.
different outcome.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
that. All right, cool. Well, till next week. So if you want to email us at mission250filmcast@gmail.com. Go to mission250filmcast.com to find our list and all of our previous episodes. You can follow our list along. Rate and subscribe on iTunes. And thanks for listening. And see you guys next week. Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.
Next week, guys. See ya.
See you next week, brother.